Hello, Serious Crew. This is Not So Busy, your podcast producer and Serious Gentleman podcaster. Team Serious would like to announce Serious Property Solutions, a proud sponsor of Team Serious. Serious Property Solutions, or SPS, will buy any house, any condition, any situation. So if you're looking into getting out of your mortgage or simply selling your house quick and you are near or around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, give them a call at area code 469-609-7368. Or you can reach out to them via their Facebook page at facebook.com/Serious Property Solutions and send them a message via FB Messenger or email them at oscar@seriouspropertysolutions.com. We would like to thank SPS for their support and supporting this podcast. Thank you so much. Go check them out.
The closer you got to me, the faster I try to leave. Like a mirage, like a mirage. The scars that you don't keep on my arms, I appear empty. Like a mirage, like a mirage.
Good morning, gentlemen. We're back at it again with another exciting episode of the Serious Gentleman, episode 22. To my left, I got Tombstone. Underneath him, he got Brozine. Yeah, baby. And to the right of Brozine, you got Mr. Vicious Save 31K. Good morning, gentlemen. How's everybody doing this morning?
What's up?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
Doing pretty good.
Dave, you're just looking old. Anyways,
Damn, man.
I just look over and he has like the light on his beard, and I was just looking at my beard this morning, and you get to a different level when you start getting gray hair in your beard. You're like, oh damn,
This is the touch of gray crew.
Yeah. It's like it's more like the Just for Men crew.
Here, now I have a beer, okay?
Sponsor us? No, okay.
Yeah, that's going to be one of our next sponsors right there. Touch of gray. Serious Gents approved.
Yeah. I could just see Brozine making that commercial.
I like brush it into a revolving can, like.
As tradition, like every single Sunday morning, we want to see what everybody's drinking. I am on some gamer grind, some kill streak. Cheers, gentlemen. What is everybody else drinking?
Same kill streak for me too.
Well, it's noon here for me in the East Coast, so I have unbranded cola. A nice off-brand cola from a general store.
If the cola would like to sponsor us, I have a form for you. Okay, thanks.
I'm just drinking some Milo's lemonade.
Wait. Stop. You have a drink?
I had one last week. You don't pay attention.
I wasn't here last week.
Oh.
I'm just glad it didn't start off.
That's a you problem. Okay.
I'm just glad it didn't start off with, would you want to fight?
I don't like chat either. Like they're calling us old men, and like I can't do this. I'm done.
Podcast is over, y'all. What's funny is I had the chat one time calling Tombstone old, and I was the oldest on the podcast.
Hey, what the hell was that all about, man?
Yeah, he was the youngest, and I don't even know how it turned the whole crowd calling him old. Anyways, so let's get some announcements out the way. Team Serious is rolling out Rocky League 3v3s the week of November 13th, that weekend. You can check all the information out at teamseriousdfw.com/tournaments. Get involved, get signed up, get a part of the community, !Discord to put you into the Discord, or you can check out teamseriesdfw.com/Discord to go ahead and get into the Discord, get involved and play all these fancy games with us, competitive, non-competitive. I'm straight up chill back gaming at its finest. Come hang out with me. I'll be jumping on some games that we're going to let Brozine talk about here in a little bit. Another thing also, we want to get out the way. Rainbow Six is coming in full swing. Saltness in your life. If you're missing some sodium, come hang out with us. We're going to have the whole casting crew back into it. The casting Rainbow Six Siege 5v5s the weekend after the 3v3. So it should be put it right on November 20th time frame. We got Boise State University joining us again, the return of our last Gold Cup winners for the Team Series 5v5 Rainbow Six games last tournament. So they will be joining us, hopefully paired up with Arkansas Tech because they've been signed up. We'll find out more details. You can check us out at teamseriesdfw.com/tournaments. Tell your buddies if you're a Siege player, get your team signed up, get your team involved, and everything in between. Aside from that, keep join the Discord and keep posted. All these updates are being fluctuated every day through the Discord, but also all the websites and all the social medias. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. Not only are we on Twitch and YouTube, but we're all over the place. Hit us up on our IG. With that being said, I'm handing it over to Tombstone. Get the first topic out the way. Everybody from this panel is from Team Series, and everybody from this panel is a serious gentleman.
Good morning. So first thing that I want to talk about really quick before we move on is the Rocket League tournament. I know we had played a couple friendlies last week and they were a lot of fun. But now we're gonna ratchet it up a little bit. And we're gonna play a little more competitively. I know Team Serious has some. They have some sandbaggers over there. I know Shook for one. He's sitting there driving around on the ground, but I know better. That dude's damn good at Rocket League. I know United Vindication has 3 teams already that we're going to sign up and that we're going to have be a part of it. I'm excited for the Rocket League tournament as much as anybody. I know Rainbow Six is a little more competitive. I've played it. I'm not any good at it, but I'll squad up with anybody if y'all want to join me in getting our asses kicked by Boise State. It'll be a blast. Beyond that, the mental health collaboration stream of Team Serious, United Vindication, Club Kiwi, and Rage Zone. That's going on December 11th through the 13th. There is a slight change to that. It's going to be December 10th through the 13th. We had to add an extra day because we have Galaxy Hound, who is a sponsor of both Team Series and United Vindication. Galaxy Hound wanted a day for themselves to come in and speak of their mental health issues and how they cope with things and how they deal with it. So we're going to allow them some time on Friday to make sure that their voices are heard as well. They are not only sponsors to our 2 teams, they're our 2 communities, but they're also a sponsor to the event. And they've put in a huge amount of work to building a new merch store for the event. And they're bringing this right to your doorstep. So mental health awareness stream is going on. Like I said, December 10th through the 13th, it's going to be a huge, huge program run by Team Serious, United Vindication, Club Kiwi, and Rage Zone. If you want to sign up, if you want time, I need you to sign up. I'll give you the sign up sheet at any time. Just come find me. We need to have you signed up so that I can plan you into the schedule. I know we have another progress check this week, right? Are we going to do that this week? Not so.
Yes, we're going to do it this week. And also going back to one of your announcements that you asked out, and it's kind of random, but Shook and Hello Jimmy are on board for the 2 p.m. CS2 beta.
Nice.
So we're good there.
So with that being said, we're hitting up. We're going to get the schedule out hopefully by the 15th of November. We got a lot of stuff that's going on, but I need you guys to sign up if you want your time. I know almost everybody in chat has signed up, but please get your name in there if you want to be a part of it. We are going to be doing the beta today. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to start with a pre-recorded message so we can get the message to the masses. It's going to be an awesome time. So please be on the lookout for that. 4 amazing communities, 5 actually, if you include Galaxy Hound. 5 amazing communities, organizations working together to bring some noise to the cause. With that being said, I kind of wanted to chat, and we're going to start with the tech talk. I wanted to talk about Ryzen and AMD and their release of their Zen 5, or excuse me, Zen 3 CPUs. And I, like so many others, was sitting there waiting for the drop of these things, and it sold out in about 7 seconds. That bitch was gone faster than I could have imagined. So this seems to be a trend. We've already hammered NVIDIA for their lack of supply the first day. So I figure we can.
They got to figure this out. They got to figure out some kind of new tech, some kind of protection, an extra effort or extra layer or something to allow the masses to start buying this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this thing was so much on fire with the hype before it, that the minute deployed onto it, exactly how our RTX 3000 series, exactly how it happened. Like they bought up the stock, bots bought up the stock, and then minutes later they're on eBay with inflated prices. Like literally nobody wants to pick up a Ryzen for like well, at least I don't want to pick one up for like $1,000 or more. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just couldn't imagine, like, and we said it with NVIDIA, we said it with Intel already, that like you had to know this shit was coming. And I don't know if they intentionally did this or not, but like you would think, especially this close to Christmas, that they would have enough to get them through the holiday season. Mm-hmm. And they just fell flat again. And I think it's a terrible look. Like, honestly, we talked about it with Xbox, we talked about it with PlayStation, we talked about it with NVIDIA. This is just not a good look. It's one of the very few things I'm kind of upset about. Like, if you're going to announce something and I can't get my hands on it at all, like there's no chance of me getting my hands on it. I'd rather you just keep it silent, like just hand it out somewhere else.
I'm going to pull up some benchmarks here. I mean, just to kind of show.
I know you were working on it.
Just to kind of show what we're discussing as far as performance gains, they're on par with the 19% IPC improvement. It's crazy, insane how this time around anything related to single threaded performance outweighs anything from the blue team. And for those of you that have been following the episodes, have been following the Tech Talk, the biggest thing proponent about is innovation. And being that AMD is literally significantly smaller company than Intel on the CPU side and then NVIDIA on the GPU side, they do two things, one company, and they're super small. So I will always root for the underdog, especially if the underdog is innovating. Intel's already talking about deploying another 14 nanometer plus in response to it with their Rocket Lake. And I just don't, there's no reason for me to jump over again on the blue team. It's literally been the same architecture for better half of a decade with small IPC improvements of 10%, and still charging the same price, if not more, for literally almost the same CPU and architecture. And that's the reason why I had to drop Team Blue and finally go back over to Team Red after several years, to get the latest technology. 7 nanometer process is straight fire, IPC improvements, every rendition without having to update motherboard. This is the only time after several years that we might have to update motherboard. If you were the early adopter, the B350 and the X370 chipset, they're finally saying, hey, we can't support those boards anymore because, and it's a limitation on the firmware on the motherboard, because you have so many SKUs, so that EEPROM size is filled up. So they're going to say, what do we have to do now? It's like, we're literally going to have to drop the B350 and the X370 so we can go ahead and support the X470, the B450, the B550, and the X570 moving forward. On top of that, they didn't release a new board because I already have all the latest and greatest. You already have USB Type-C on X570 and B550. You already have PCIe 4.0. You already have fast as hell DDR4 on X570 and B550 platform. So there was no need to really release a new motherboard when you weren't going to be releasing anything new. Now, can they still come up and say, we're going to release a new motherboard like X670 in the future? You bet your ass they can do it. But right now they kind of wanted to throw that back into Team Blue's court and say, we're supplying new CPUs and we're not making users upgrade boards. Now, for those that do have the X470 and B450 like I do, January is our BIOS release to be able to upgrade over to the 5000 series or Zen 3 processors. So I have no negative comments about that. They're not making me upgrade board. I'm right in the middle of that. And I can literally drop the latest CPU like inside my son's computer, because he's running X570 on a 3700X. I can just buy him a 5800X and I'll take his 3700X and slot it back on my board. So I have it's just like a win-win scenario. So here's the Scalpers article on Tom's Hardware where they said that they struck again fast as hell, and the inflated prices were going over $1,000, like $1,200. The cheapest one you could find for 5950X during the writing of the article was $1,000 to $1,200, and these are the MSRP prices. So 5950X is their top tier basically thread monster, 16 cores, 32 threads for $799, and the cheapest one, which is straight fire, that still put Team Blue's shit, anything you can think of, i9, i7 on the other side, it put its sneeze for $299, and that's only their 6-core 12 thread CPU at TDP at 65 watts, almost no heat, almost no energy. I mean, I got to give credit what credit is due. They literally increase IPC performance without increasing two things, without increasing heat and without increasing power consumption for previous generation. I think that's an achievement. I'll know. Go ahead.
When I saw the Linus video with the benchmarks of that 5600 stacked on top of the 5, 7, and 9 series of Intel, what a good time to get into PC gaming in the next year or two, because with NVIDIA's like affordable the 30 series, the 3060s or anything, and then these Risen coming out, like entry level is so much easier to get into like high level gaming, man, than it has been since I have been gaming, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the prices have been, if you want to play top or to be competitive, it's always been like around what that 5950 was. You know, it's like $800 you're gonna have to drop on a graphics card. Or like you said earlier, if you wanted to switch CPUs, or even worse, if you got caught in the middle of an upgrade when DDR3 went to DDR4 and you had to upgrade boards just to make the next jump into that technology. So I have my eye on the 5600. I think that's going to be that just blew me away, and I've notoriously been blind due to Team Blue. I'm still running a KB Lake i7. I never looked back. It's always been so solid that I ignored everything in the tech area that's been happening. But when everybody starts talking about this $300 Risen that comes out of left field to me, someone that's not, well versed in the tech news, and you see those benchmarks, it goes, you start looking at your PC like, all right, old friend, you ready for some new tires? It's about to put some upgrades on you, man, and affordable upgrades.
I'm on the same page. I got rid of my Skylake 6700K. Cabby Lake, Skylake were legit, like mirrored architecture. The only difference, and this is when I finally started getting this, okay, Team Blue, you're just juicing us. The only difference between that architecture was renamed, first of all. Second of all, out of the box experience was 200 megahertz faster than previous generation. So that's how they accounted for the 10% improvement. Same price. When I bought both CPUs, by the way. I had a 6700K, and then for my son, when 7700K Cabby Lake came out, I bought him that, and they were both $329.99 USD when they dropped. And I literally overclocked mine. Mine was running water cooled, and I overclocked it to 4.9. But when I overclocked mine to match his out of the box experience, because 6700 was 4.0 base and 7700 is 4.2 base. When I overclocked his and benchmarking together, we legit got the same score. That's when I knew. I was like, dude, that's it. I'm done with these guys. So 7700K was the last Intel CPU I bought. Soon after, then the Ryzen series was introduced, and they were dropping CPUs and motherboards left and right. But that's where I was. And then 8700 came, and that was same thing. 10% IPC improvement, 10%. And really, it was what drives that improvement was really out of the box clock speeds. It wasn't because they revamped the architecture. It wasn't because anything fancy. And I was like, see, thank God I finally swayed away from Blue Team, because they continued doing the same exact thing they've been doing for a decade. And I'm sick and tired of it. I'm just bored of it. I wasn't getting anything new. Literally, they're making me swap motherboards. It's still DDR4. There's still PCIe 3. There's no new USB. You see what I'm saying? Like I was getting tired of that. Luckily, within the 6,000 and 7,000 series, they supported Z170, Z270 during that time. So that was kind of okay. I still have a Z170 board that I bought because the one that they sent me ended up being garbage, and then I sent it back, and then they made me a new one. But then I went and got a new one because I was like tired of waiting. They're like 3 weeks. I was like, Amazon, boom, boom, 2 days. I had another motherboard. And it's not for a lack of not trying to go through Gigabyte's process, but they were like, it's 3 weeks right now. And they're like, no, screw that. I'm not going to wait that long. I'm just going to go buy an MSI. And that's the reason why I jumped over to Z270. So this is kind of like the benchmarks that we're discussing right now. That Ryzen has just mopped the floor with everything else for cheaper. IPC improvement is 19 to 20% on par with everything they're discussing, including older Gen Ryzen at the bottom, 3950, 3900 XT, older SKUs, but you can kind of see what spectrum everybody sits at now. And then, even then, if you look at the major gains would be in higher frames. When you jump over to 1440p, you will start seeing a difference there. But in overall scores, they benefited all the way across the board just by those single-threaded performance gains that everybody needs for gaming, right? Not to say, so let me clear that space up. Not to say that multi-threaded applications aren't important for games, especially later in development. All these cores and threads would come in account, but it's easier for a game to run single-threaded performance so that it doesn't cause too many issues within itself as a software. But moving forward, is that going to change? You bet your ass. It's finally going to go more multi-threaded, more multi-workbench style performance. But you have to have these developers start coding into that. Does that make sense? And certain games already run that, by the way. Like Destiny 2, I think can spin up to 6 cores. Is from the last article I read. So there's already games today that can do that. It's just we need a higher push for that so that games can run better and scale better.
I'm particularly excited for. I'm just as excited for the high-end technology, or as Brozine said, what it's doing to introductory level as well. Because I know Natsu's been a PC Master Race guy for a long time, but it's pushing people to get out of their comfort zone. And now you get to where you can put together your own custom build of a PC for about $600, $700. Why not make that jump from an Xbox or a PlayStation for that kind of flexibility? And with Microsoft's Game Pass, with Steam and everything else, you just put everything at your fingertips instead of.
Yeah, it's too expensive is not an excuse pretty soon. In the next 5 years, you definitely won't be able to say that about PC gaming. You can just get a PC for the same price as the top end console.
Yeah, and I'm by no means bashing console players. I know a lot of people like the plug and play aspect, but he's right. It's too expensive, or it's just not. They've kind of erased that excuse completely, and they've done a really, really good job of it.
I guess the AMD's always done this. So one of the reasons why I fell in love with AMD back in the early 2000s, and some of y'all might remember, I know Dave was there with me when we jumped over to AMD to Team Red originally in the early 2000s when we were doing our Counter-Strike events before they were called esports. The reason why we jumped to Team Red is the first one to kind of, stir up the industry and provide, and this is how old this is, provide the first $1,000 machine. Everybody's like, "Oh, what the fuck? You can build $1,000 machines forever now." But back then, when you stuck to a gaming rig, you went Team Blue and you spelled well over 1,000, if not on the better side of 2,000. Yeah. Back then in our high school days. So AMD was the first one to say we can produce a $1,000 gaming machine to be competitive with Team Blue and Team Green, because NVIDIA did exist then. And back then, AMD didn't own ATI at the moment. Eventually, they acquired ATI after years. So that's the reason why they do 8 GPUs. Everybody asked me what happened to ATI. AMD consumed them and then continued the GPU segment. But that's where ATI is at today. And back then, at one point, again, Team ATI, again not owned by AMD, put NVIDIA on its knees several times. But everybody is so fanboy Team Green with NVIDIA, they don't like to hear anything else. And that's kind of like the discussion of last week, where let AMD do what they've done with RTX, and that's all you see on Reddit, and that news will continue to spread well into a decade later. Because everybody right now, the only thing they complain about that still brings up till today is AMD's drivers. But I'm like, NVIDIA just went through the driver mess with RTX and not getting the voltage right. Mm-hmm. And you're okay with them draining your power supply up to unlocked BIOS of 450 watts. But you weren't okay when Vega 64 and Vega 56 drew 320 watts of power. That was your underlying, that draws too much power, because TDP for the Team Green was only 250 at the time with the 10 series cards, right? Because the Vega 64 and Vega 56 were direct competitors to the 1070 and the 1080. But that was their biggest drawback. So now I'm sitting here looking at back and just kind of sipping on my coffee. I was like, oh, so Team Green can draw 450 watt and nobody bats an eye? Cool. I'm not cool with that. So day one drivers for NVIDIA launch can crash and nobody complains? Cool.
Right. Nobody wants to remember.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to have that conversation, huh?
Yeah. So I just call everybody out. If we're going to hold every company to the same standard, then let's call them out together.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way we're going to get a better product for everyone across the board. Not fanboying Team Blue, not fanboying Team Red, not fanboying Team Green. I want same consistency. If we demand a better product each release, each time, that is better for everyone, not just because you like a specific team or I've always bought NVIDIA, so I'm only going to ever root for NVIDIA type. If you're innovating and you're smaller, I'm going to root for you regardless because I always choose the underdog before I choose anything else.
Absolutely.
Because, again, they're smaller and they're kicking ass right now. I mean, they're going right now. I don't know if you've seen those memes where, like they already killed Intel. Now the Reaper's going to go kill NVIDIA because of their GPU lineup. I don't know if y'all seen that meme.
Are you knocking on the doors all the way down?
Yeah, knocking on the doors. That's crazy because they're kicking ass and taking names and they're making headlines because they're innovating. People was like, why AMD? They're trash, this, that, and the other. It's like, you're talking about, first of all, you're talking about their old processors from over 10 years ago.
Yeah, you're totally talking about me and my archetype too. Forever, I have been Intel and NVIDIA, and I don't read the news. Okay, I know their brand is so. I'm just gonna say tried and true, but don't think of the 30 series right now. That's like what's in people's heads that aren't informed. So you just blindly upgrade NVIDIA, upgrade NVIDIA, upgrade NVIDIA, Kaby Lake, Dragon Lake. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But now, you know, I can remember a time where I would get the GTX 980, and then next year I was getting the AMD Radeon series, the HDs, and you would go back and forth because it was so competitive that even the price points were competitive. And you'd be seeing these benchmarks. This is when I was just getting into PC gaming, and like I was okay with both. I think we're headed back there now because, you know, with these prices, the versatility, the entry level. I want, you know, we are established PC gamers now. PC gaming is a popular thing in culture. It ain't like back in the day. So I think that's going to bring a competitiveness to the back and forth. And certainly with NVIDIA showing that they can produce insanely powerful cards at half the cost, even though they, you know, your electric bill is $100 more. But, you know, and same thing with these Ryzen series CPUs. That's going to be the next big thing, man. I think I will definitely be whoever has the most bang for the buck. That's where I'm going because it's all going to be compatible. As long as it's compatible, I should say, I will flip-flop.
I'm on the same page. I like the competition, I like healthy competition, same. And it sets market pricing. Mm-hmm. It's getting ridiculous where if NVIDIA didn't have at least the amount, some kind of amount of competition from AMD's GPUs, especially now with their RX 6000 coming out, that they would just drive the market cost, right? So then we were looking at mid-tier, you know, 37 and 70 starting at 1200. I'm not okay with that. Fuck what you heard. Like, I don't care that, you know, they're great, but I'm not paying 1200 for just a GPU. That's a whole setup.
2080 users and owners will not forget what NVIDIA did. Okay. I'm one of those, admittedly. We will not forget that you just what you pulled on that day. Like we were just dirt. Okay. I mean, I will never get fooled again. That's
kind of what I'm going. That's what I'm talking about.
For those of the people that are watching, because I see who's in here. Explain what you mean by that, because I think they need to hear
it. The price to performance ratio, I'll call it. I'll summarize it, of the 30 series to the 20 series. The 20 series never dropped. It was always, I'm going to estimate here, but keep in mind third party is going to vary. It was always around $800 for a 2080 Super, or even more for a TI. And when that 30 series released, and those price points were like $500, $600 for double the performance, which it didn't really turn out to be double, but that's besides the point. It's still a major upgrade.
Absolutely.
It was, no one thought you were going to see that because of where the price point was of 2080. And a lot of us 2080 Super TI or regular, you know, users feel slighted now because we bought into the hype of, I want the most powerful card. And that card has always been associated with, it's going to cost a lot, but that power will be, dominating it's future proof, just buy it. It's future proof. Not anymore, man. Not anymore. You will not get me to buy a 3090 because I know that 40 series is going to come out and it's going to be like triple a 3090 for $200, the cheapest card that ever existed. You can buy it. We lied.
Sunday.
New technology has came out before we said that it is so cheap, and I'm going to be like the guy that 3 months before the new NVIDIA conference, spends his mortgage or two on a fucking 3090. Okay, that ain't me. It ain't happening.
So there's a good question there by Chris. What about the Titan cards? Titan cards are always misrepresented. While you can game on a Titan card, Titan cards aren't for gaming. So people that did spend money on that are doing things like data science. They're doing things with rendering, things with RTX, or working with AI. But yeah, even them, they are still kind of mad. But at the same time, they're doing a whole other spectrum of what RTX represents. While you can game on it, I'm not saying you can't. They're a whole different other type of user. Because at one point, Titan was being represented as a gaming card, and that's kind of they refocus it into the TI lineup. So they shifted from Titan over to TI to make the top dog gaming TI, so 2080 Ti. And later on, we're probably going to see a 3090 Ti I'm just waiting for it. But to Brozine's point is they literally, and this is why it's so important for AMD to have a very compatible card, maybe not at 3090 level, but like just barely into it, because that's what they did with their old HD series that you mentioned, where there's like neck and neck. Is like I'm within 3 to 5% of RTX performance, but I don't have to pay as much, right? I can pay $500 and I'm right at 3080 level, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, if you get to 3 or 5%, you knock off $300.
Yes, that's how they used to do.
That's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. It really.
That's how I used to go back and forth. Going back to Brozine's point, that's why one year I have slotted a Team Green, the very next year I had a Team Red, because it was so comparable. Like I'm playing the same titles, I'm still getting over 200 FPS. So there's no need for me to go back to Team Green for another $200. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It's a no-brainer. As long as they're close, and I've been on this podcast a lot, and I've talked a lot about just competition. It just makes sense for consumers to have competition. I don't care if you like blue, green, red, purple. I don't give a damn. It's good for the consumers that these three companies are competing against each other constantly, and they.
Go ahead, Tim. Finish your thought. Go ahead.
And just the fact that these guys go into these conferences, right, and they make these huge announcements, and we hear world premiere, and we hear all this shit all the time. But it's such a good thing that they're willing to go and put themselves out there and say, we're 20% better. They're making these claims. Well, then you got like 5,000 people who are sitting there chomping at the bit, just waiting to say, no, you didn't get to 20. So why are you charging me this money when you didn't get to 20 like you promised? And I know it puts a lot of pressure on those two companies. It puts a lot of pressure on us to make the right decision, but it's just good business. Like, it's just good for consumers.
Kind of a side point too to what you were saying about, they market these with the world premieres, and you see all these commercials. It's really prevalent with like monitors and stuff, but it happens in graphics cards. Is like you need this performance, or this 5% will take you to the competitive edge. Buy this chair now. That kind of crazy shit. The 2080 series, even the 2070 series, I don't know Ryzen AMD enough to compare, but those cards too. 2 years from now, they're still going to be relevant. Okay, you don't need a 3090 for that much money. In the next foreseeable future, if you're worried about gaming, okay, let's take productivity to the side. We aren't there yet. Okay, it's future proof. But again, to my NVIDIA point, there's no reason to buy a 3090 if the next series is going to be even more future proof, or probably cheaper, because of how competitive AMD is playing this right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to get my point across. But you don't need to blow that money, man. It's just not there.
I am personally a good example of that, because all these 30 series come out. I have a son who needs a PC. Like that's one of my end goals, is to make sure all the kids have one and that we're at least up to date. And so I'm going to upgrade. I'm going to build a new PC, even though I just built one. I'm going to build a new one. And everybody keeps asking me, why don't you do the 3090? I just don't need it. We're not in 4K gaming. We're not capable of playing it. These developers aren't designing games for it yet. Why spend the extra $400 when I can just do the 3080 or even the 3070 and I'll be just fine? Like, I don't need to go. People are like, well, just put the best thing in there. Well, why? Where is the tangible evidence that I need that? I did upgrade to the quad HD monitor, so I want the 3080 because it does perform better at the quad HD level. But there's no sense to go to the 4K level yet. It's just not okay. I might get one game in, but by that time, the 4000 series will be out. And you're right, the 4070 is probably going to do 4K gaming better than the 3090 will. So,
and with these Ryzen series CPUs too, like, I don't know, you're able to do so much more for so much longer now, instead of having to upgrade every year or bi-yearly release. So I probably will go with 5600. It's such an affordable card or a CPU with blown away benchmarks. Something I have to research is I think it's called the B550 or B500 series motherboards.
Yes.
I may go that. I'm running a 270, a Z270 right now. No problems with it, but everyone's talking about this B550 series or 500 series, and I really want that combo. I want the compatibility. I want the future proof. And that is something that hits the price point for me that is worth buying for future proof upgrades versus a 3090 where I know I won't max that well beyond the 4000 series of the releases, I guess is what my point is.
It's going to take years to max it out. We're just not, as a gaming community, as even, like I said, going back to the developers aren't focused on that. They're not pushing. I mean, they're going to try to push it to 4K, but they need a few iterations to get it right. Like, we're already talking about 8K gaming. Guys, I've never even seen an 8K monitor. Like, why are we that far
that's
advanced?
A good point, man. Until like even 144 hertz is common on every monitor, like 60 hertz isn't even a thing, okay? Think about this. When's the last time you saw a CRT monitor? When 60 hertz gets to that point, then we can start talking, okay? Because we need our peripherals and everything to be commonplace.
Absolutely.
For the average end user that's not rich to start buying these high-end products.
Now, I kind of want to throw a disclaimer and kind of going back to both of y'all's comments. We make it seem so we're enthusiast level. I need the listeners to understand that we're enthusiast level. You don't have to upgrade every year.
Yeah.
We're making it seem like, a PC up cost is so much. No, we're enthusiast level. If you're just looking for a standard workstation compatibilities, gaming rig, so to speak, 5800X or 5600X will do more than wonders for you. We're talking about us staying up on the up. That's not how PC gaming works. I know that I always get this from everybody that finally joins a Master Race group or hears Master Race people talk about the PC, that it needs these constant maintenance. And the biggest thing that I get is I don't know how to support it, or I have to find somebody to support what I now bought into, versus if I bought an Xbox, I just get support from Microsoft. And if anything else goes wrong, I have warranty, so on. So those spectrums still exist on the PC, especially if you buy a pre-built, get it all warranted, buy the extra warranty so that you have a peace of mind for you. We're talking about custom builds, custom rigs with enthusiast level performance. So we swap out our video cards more than a regular user would. Regular user will probably have a 4 to 5, maybe 4 to 6 year turnaround when it comes to swapping their GPU and everything else, especially if out of the box you went and spend that extra money on a rig that you kind of like, well, I kind of heard that this is good performance. I spend the 2,500, 3,000 or whatever it is, because I don't want to spend money for a few years type of scenario. And I got the extra warranty in case something goes bad. I can either take it to some kiosk, or, they'll send me a return box, or this, that, and the other. I need to kind of set the playing field. Like me, I build too many computers, I swap too many things. I change my mind a lot, but I also have the income to be able to do that. I get shit from Tombstone all the time. It's like, what you buy now? Like, shut up, leave me alone.
In fairness, he's got me doing it, so I just buy random shit. And I'm like, hey, can you put this together for me? And we have some drinks and have a good time.
What we haven't heard of is Mr. 3900X sitting in the bottom right.
Yeah, I was about to say, the guy with the best PC in here hasn't said a damn word.
Huh. Okay.
Huh.
Now back to what you were going with, Tombstone, with the 4K and the 8K. I think they're just kind of basically pushing that out there to have people just to go buy these graphics cards that are high end, and like you said, they don't really need them. But like you said, they're still a long way ahead to get to that 4K performance that everybody wants, 144 hertz. What is it, like 60 hertz right now? That mostly 8K and 4K, or are we even there? That's what
I haven't even seen 8K. Like I don't know. Yeah. The first time I saw this was at the NVIDIA conference for their 3900 or their.
Correct. I've only seen him at the conference, and I only seen the Linus Tech Tip videos where he got sent an 8K TV or whatever it was of 8K. And that's the only time I've seen 8K. I'm like, wait a minute, we hadn't even standardized. Going to everybody's point, we haven't standardized 4K.
Yeah. Shit, we haven't even got to 1440 yet. Yeah. Man, if 4,000, like we haven't even gotten to 1440. Why in the hell are we pushing 4K?
And then if you want, I'll bring it up right now. I'll look it up. But if you look at the Steam charts for their quarter, like what is it? Every quarter they do the turn in results for the result. Like 1080p is so dominant at 60 hertz. I'm like, where the fuck are we going to the 1440 or 4K? Like it's so dominant when they do the Steam surveys. Let me pull up the latest Steam survey so we can see.
So like you walk into any retail store right now. I'll even say you go into an electronics store. You walk into Best Buy. You're not seeing 8K TVs. You're not seeing 8K monitors. They're not even on the shelves. Why are we discussing gaming? Yeah. Gaming is far, like, it's always like TVs come out, and then a little while later, monitors come out, and then gaming kind of follows up. If we're not seeing it on retail stores, why in the world are we even seeing it? Like, I don't even don't even talk to me about it. You're wasting my time. So when NVIDIA came out with the 3090 and they did their big world premiere, whatever, and they started saying 4K gaming at 250, fuck all that. Like, get out of here. I don't have $10 billion to spend on a PC. Stop it.
Look at the most common video card. That tells you where the majority of the player base is.
I still own two 1060s. My son and my daughter own 1060s.
My wife and my son have 1060s. So
that's where I tell you that the performance is right now at a 1060 is the most common video card owned via Steam hardware surveys. Now, 65% 1080p as primary monitor. Now, this is interesting. We're seeing a 3840 by 1080 as 71%, which that's an odd resolution if you ask me.
That's a stretched ass resolution.
That's a stretched ass 3840 by 1080.
You know what that might be? That might be side-to-side monitors running it as a single monitor.
I think you're right.
I think it might be that. But
yeah, I think you're right.
Imagine not having three screens to multitask code at all times.
Right?
In one big mess.
I can't. I have four, and even then, I'm like, can I add a fifth?
So I go from my 3 monitor setup here at home, which I love, by the way, and then I go to work. And I have my single setup as a teacher, and the computer barely runs anything. But I end up setting my laptop up next to it so I can have 2 screens because I can't do shit on one screen anymore. I'm so spoiled. I'm so spoiled. My daughters are both asking for 2 monitors for Christmas. Like, can we get the dual monitors? No, get out of here.
This is how crazy it is. 2% own a 2070 Super.
Wow. Two of us are here.
I mean, it just gets crazy. So I mean, I get it. I get innovation, and I'm all proponent for going to the next level, but I don't see it yet. We haven't standardized anything. Major people are still running 1080p monitors, whether it's lower refresh rate or higher refresh rate. 1440p is a untapped I think that's a sweet spot for, in my opinion. 1440p is the sweet spot. 4K is nice and everything. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you 4K isn't nice, but I think as far as monitor wise, going back to the performance per dollar ratio scenario, I think a 1440p monitor is way more affordable. High refresh rate, 1440p is more achievable, video card wise, hardware wise. And now we're starting having conversations that I've like everybody just admitted, we're not at 8K yet, but we can go to 8K. So I'm excited for that. But even myself, I would have to start replacing all my panels because I have all high refresh rate 140 hertz panels. But I need to upgrade to the next level. I need to have some 4K panels. I don't have 4K panels. I was cool 4 years ago going 144 hertz. Now I'm just like, damn, is 144 hertz where I need to be? Do I need to finally jump over to 4K? And I keep saying all the time, like, oh no, one of my monitors fell off and it broke. 4K.
There's a joke that I'm going to kick the desk and all four of them are going to go, guys. So, Jimmy, you didn't hear that. Turn off your ears for a minute.
So I think we've kicked this horse enough. I think we're done with the enthusiast level PC gaming. I know that we need to sit here and talk a little bit more about what Brozine wanted to talk about, and that's Destiny 2. So we'll go ahead and swap over to the next element. If anybody ever want to just have a simple discussion about building a computer and things like that, you can reach out to any of us, and we'll give you lots of information and help you choose your next build. By all means, every time we talk, we scare people because they're like, spending this much, I just bought this or I bought that. I was like, no, we're enthusiast level. Settle down. We'll get you to the right spot. We'll get you to a build that makes sense for you and your needs, gaming and streaming or both. But let us know, and we can get you there. So by all means, you're like, damn, these guys are over here talking about all this crazy stuff, and I just barely, assembled my computer at an X amount of cost. I keep spending too much money. That's all I have to say.
Same. So I kind of wanted to get into the Destiny 2 talk too, because we're only a couple weeks away from the new.
No.
Couple days.
Couple days.
Less than 48 hours.
Oh shit, we're even closer than I thought.
We are in that window.
It's what is it? Beyond Light? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Beyond Light. Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a whole new player experience, which is called New Light. Real creative with that. But it's going to be a great time. So if you're someone who's just been a casual, first of all, disclaimer, I am not a Bungie employee. I just really like this game. Okay.
I was gonna say that.
I'm all about this game. This game is I help moderate an entire server of Destiny 2 folks in a clan. It's a hardcore raiding clan that I've been a part of for the last 2 years. So this is my Super Bowl. Okay. We got the raid race coming up, but I want to focus on the new player experience because that is where most people will probably find Destiny or experience Destiny starting next week. So Beyond Light's going to have a whole new player experience. Like I said, we're going to be moving up the light level. So anybody who tried it out and hated it, or maybe it wasn't for them before, if you wanted to try it out, everyone will be back on the same playing field, including up to veterans. So people have been playing for years. That's going to basically squash and restart from there. So you'll be at the light level is called 1050, if you're familiar with Destiny, or 10. I think maybe it's going up to 1060. Excuse me. One of those. Either way, 10 is
Sounds
not
like a graphics card.
Yeah, we went from one enthusiast discussion to another. So you're going to have to infuse the pinnacles probably at a rate of 2 per hour if you want to hit the max. And if you're a new player, you need to like and subscribe to this video now for a free 5 light levels. No, but a lot of cool stuff is coming. I won't get into the lore because I suck at trying to talk about the lore. But the story of the Dorito ships and how they're blowing up the planets, it's coming to an end. So Monday, it's rumored to have a finale event. I would not expect Travis Scott concert level Fortnite. Please do not come there expecting somebody to start rapping and blowing up planets. It is not going to happen. Destiny events are usually very subtle. They're usually 90 minutes later than when they say everybody needs to be there. But they do happen. Okay. The last event, we all watched the Traveler for 2 hours before it blew up in 30 seconds. Okay, that's the kind of fans that we are.
I can't with your ass, dude.
This is the best segment we've had.
I swear it's a great game, though. No, but I encourage everyone to try it. Also, with the expansion, is the new subclass system, Stasis, which is the darkness equivalent of our light. So if you're familiar with Destiny, you have Arc, Void, and Solar classes with their own subclasses. This is a whole new archetype, Stasis. It's ice themed. We're going to Europa, one of the moons. You play Destiny 1, you're probably current on what the Cosmodrome is and such. And we're going to be fighting Aramis and who knows what else. I've tried to avoid spoilers of the raid and such, but very exciting time. And Tuesday, I would not expect the servers to be able to hold up on the launch. Probably plan on trying it out that evening or maybe the next day. I know usually the servers get hit, especially with it being free to play. There'll probably be a big rush, but are any of you guys planning on playing? Maybe not launch day, but that season?
I do, Art. I have the copy. I was going to ask you, are they allowing preload? Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, so there's going to be some maintenance. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to happen tomorrow. And unfortunately, Bungie's not very communicative with these kind of things. But the maintenance is communicated. The maintenance is going to be approximately 3 hours, I think, in the morning. There's going to be an event. And then we're going to go into the expansion maintenance where the servers are just going to be down. That is when you should theoretically be able to preload. So you'll be able to install everything. I don't know for console how that's going to work, so don't quote me there. Game Pass may be able to. PlayStation, I know sometimes is unfortunately a little bit later or allowed to do things later than Microsoft for some reason. But there will be a preload, and it's a full reinstall for everybody. That's what they announced. So when you get that preload, if you need the space, you can just delete Destiny because you're going to have to reinstall it either way. There's no getting around it. I mean, it'll probably wipe it now that I think about it because it's the same file. But yeah, you'll be able to preload.
I'm super excited for it. My Sage and I, we got into Destiny a long time ago. We are not to your level. We like to run everything one time and be done with it. And then I ended up going back to other things like League, which, by the way, I don't know why. I found myself back in League again. Like, I'd gotten away from it for 4 months. I finally found a way out. I saw a light, and then Twisted's like, hey, come play League. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Now I'm back in fucking League again. Played like 7 games the other night.
It's the MOBA addiction all over again.
Dude, well, that and like a bunch of our friends are playing Ark. So like I'm in an Ark, and I'm like, I can't play Ark. I fucking hate this. It's a game that has no direction. I don't know why people play Ark.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in there because the server's cool and it's kind of fun, and I like to kill my brother a lot. But outside of that, like, Ark just drives me crazy. Why are we doing this? But Destiny will play because, we've kept up on the storyline, we've kept up on the lore, but we're kind of stuck between enthusiasts and casual. We're somewhere in the middle of that, and so
I think it's the perfect game to kind of play casually too. The way they're making these new experiences is. There's no, like, they got rid of all the OP guns that all the veterans own. So when you jump in PvP and you're just getting slaughtered and it's not fun, that's a very popular qualm with new players or casual players because they don't grind for 9 years to get this gun that just is, has a very high time to kill. All that stuff has been what they call sunset, which is where you can only use it in very specific game modes or it'll be very easily outclassed. Especially in competitive. So if you play ranked, if you play Trials of the Nine or Trials of Osiris, any of that kind of stuff, those guns, namely Mountaintop and Recluse, if anyone knows Destiny guns in the chat here.
Mountaintop really screwed me over.
Those guns are all sunset now. So even if you get hit with them, they can only go to a certain light level, which means their damage doesn't scale any further. So Mountaintop, not this season, but in a few seasons from now, will effectively be a pea shooter because it won't have the power that it used to have.
Yeah.
They also took down Perfect Game, the popular hack site. Nobody go there. But they took down that site that was very popular for aimbots and hacks that people were using in competitive Crucible, which made new player and casual experience absolutely horrible for a lot of people, namely Iron Banner and Trials. People didn't like playing that because all the hackers would just come out and just wreck for their YouTube videos and stuff. So a lot of people have been banned. That hack is banned. The site has, even publicly came out and go, hey, we're going to follow the cease and desist. We're not putting this hack up anymore. It's acknowledged. So that's going to be a big deal for next season's PvP. And I think, not so I know I tried to get you and Felix on a few games last year. I really would like to extend that invite to anybody who, if you want to experience the content, from a casual perspective, like you said, Tomb, one and done type stuff, definitely hit me up. My clan, once we figure out the raid and such, we'll do Sherpa runs and such. So if you just want to experience the raid and you don't want an LFG group screaming at you for not bringing in the right gun or something, that's the total vibe that, I'm not trying to plug my clan here. I'm just saying, since you know me, I'll definitely feel free to run you guys through for the experience. We love doing that stuff. Same with PvP. We do Iron Banner nights where we have like 4 or 5 full groups that we just go in for fun. We rotate people like every few matches and stuff, and everybody's just drinking and having a good time. So really excited for all of that to be fixed from this perfect aim hack takedown. Be a nice, more enjoyable experience.
So while we're on this topic, even though we've been talking about Destiny, I see a couple guys in chat who are talking different games. What do you guys think about Assassin's Creed Valhalla? You gonna play it? I know not because it's solo dolo, but
I don't know enough about it. I own Assassin's Creed because of Uplay, but I've never been an Assassin's Creed player.
Have you watched the show Vikings?
No.
Yes, I have.
It's basically the show. I mean, I even heard reference to Ragnar Lothbrok. Now, obviously, you're not playing as Ragnar in the Vikings series, but he's in the lore of the game. I was watching some Ubisoft's playthrough. So that kind of got me more hyped because I just came off watching Vikings. So I have this like Norse knowledge right now of that whole area. So I might give it a playthrough, but I know I'm going to be sucked into Beyond Light. And if Cyberpunk ever comes out, I'll probably
don't do it. Don't do it. Damn it. We tried to stay away. We have talked about Cyberpunk on this podcast 30 times. And every single time, it's the same thing. Oh, they're delaying again.
We don't have to talk about it. I won't dive in. But if it ever comes out, I might play it.
I'm not an Assassin's Creed guy. I loved Black Flag. Okay. To me, anything that's pirates or zombies, you got me hooked, at least for a little while. I mean, I even played Sea of Thieves for a little while, and I know Natsu was going to cringe, but I did. I think that I got to do the zombies. I got to do the pirates. That's just Tombstone. That's me. That's me as a human being. I got to try it. But Valhalla, like, for those of you that have ever been in the military, or those of you that have been around the military, Valhalla has a kind of a special meaning to us. And it holds a little bit of a different significance to us. So I want to try the game, but I still really hate the fact that they called it Valhalla. I know why they did it. It makes sense, but I don't know. They kind of left a poor taste in my mouth.
You know what I want to know too is I'm not a big Assassin's Creed lore person, but are these guys, is this even connected to the whole original Assassin's Creed?
No.
Like the guy that's actually in the modern era? I mean, does he still exist? Because in Origins, he did. I didn't finish Odyssey, but I think they were still there in Odyssey. But I haven't seen anything like that in Valhalla. It's just been Viking gameplay. No story element have I seen that connects this. I would not be surprised if they just start running with thematic Assassin's Creed gameplay in a different era. Like we might see Assassin's Creed Star Trek edition or something like that one day, okay?
Beyond the Stars.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it might be something like that. They haven't hit that genre yet.
Assassin's Creed, The Mandalorian.
Yeah. The first interconnected world.
Dun, 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 dun. We've gone a little bit off that one. I don't know. I don't like Assassin's Creed all that much. I'll probably play it at least once or twice. the next series that I'm hoping to get into, well, I'll save that for another day. I got to circle back with Dave. Dave just keeps leaving me. He won't play games with me anymore. Go ahead, sip that coffee, Renee. Just put the pinky out. No, in fairness, we're all trying to get back onto. We're getting into that grind of the holidays, and this is kind of a great time to be a gamer, as always, because there's so many titles coming out. There's so many releases, so many price drops and sales and everything else. And I have found myself recently on this retro kick. There's a gentleman he was in chat earlier. I don't know if he is now, but Elwood's Arcade. This guy is a retro gaming nerd. Like the pure existence of his life is arcade games. Okay. But I watched one of his streams the other night, and I have fallen in love with playing Mega Man all over again. I know I've had a few streams where I've played Mega Man. I'll never stream that fucking game again, by the way. I died like 9,000 times. I made that shit look like it was Dark Souls. Like I was Dark Souls Mega Man. Okay. It was awful. So I'll never stream it again. But I've been excited for retro gaming now. So even with all these new things coming out, I'm still finding myself lagging behind in retro gaming.
So on the same subject, okay, you know where I stand with this one once I say it, but I want to know everybody else's. Where do y'all stand with the Black Ops Cold War?
Oh man, I'm gonna take the first crack at this one because I am a part of a community that absolutely loves Warzone. Cold War has the opportunity to come in and do what Call of Duty used to do. It used to go zombies, then heavy multiplayer, back to zombies, heavy multiplayer. Now you got Warzone intertwined. I don't know why the hell they're releasing this game. Warzone is like the hottest thing on the market, bar none. And I don't care if you like war or BRs. I don't care what kind of games you like or not. You go on Twitch, and it is all fucking Warzone. Why the hell are you releasing this game? I mean, if it's the zombie mode you need, build it into and do a DLC for what you already have. Modern Warfare has been a hit since day one. Why not build zombies into that? I don't understand why you're releasing this game. I don't get it. You're taking, and I can't even imagine the amount of money they make on Warzone every day. This game's been out for a year, and they're still just raking in money. This new Halloween event they just had was a huge success. Why are you releasing this game? It makes no sense. They're taking this pool of huge, and it's the same reason I hate League sometimes. You've got this huge pool of followers. You finally found something right, and then you're going to split their attention. Let it run its course. Wait until June.
I'll tell you why I'm not playing it.
Makes no sense.
You asked about Cold War, and the first thing that came up was Warzone, which is valid. No, it is 100% valid, and Toom is right. The player base only cares about what Cold War is bringing to Warzone. No one really gives a shit, excuse me my language, everybody listening that's under 18, what happens in Cold War. Okay?
Nobody gives a shit.
I am a ride or die arena shooter. Okay? Siege, multiplayer Call of Duty, Battlefield, Rush, dude, Jesus. Okay? I love that competitive nature of team versus team. And I talk about this to a few people. The popular thing right now is Warzone. It is a perfect battle royale. It is the defining game of that genre.
Absolutely, it's unflappable compared to everything else.
Yeah. So, the only reason I'm not getting it is because I know I'm going to want to play multiplayer, but I know that my friends, and it's not wrong to be like this, but their interest is in the Warzone community. So why would I drop this full price game to play multiplayer by myself? Because you might get a few people that go, I'll play a few matches, but nobody's going to be into it the level I'm into it. They love Warzone, and that's cool. But to the split player base point as well, they announced, I'll have to find the article. I don't have it offhand, but the engine's going to be different. Okay, Warzone is going to run Infinity Ward 8, which everybody clearly is used to and loves, and they would be a fool to change that. But Cold War is on this new Cold War Engine 2 or something it's called. Real creative name. So the gunplay is going to feel slightly different. People don't like to hear their guns are going to react differently in 2 different games. Okay, everybody's going to hold on to their favorite gun. I don't know what that broken gun is now that everyone's using in Warzone, but that gun ain't even going to be in Cold War. So you're going to have to find a new gun in Cold War multiplayer. And Tombstone, or maybe Dave knows this or somebody, but have they even announced if they're bringing the Cold War guns into Warzone as a mix, or are they rotating the guns out? Like, that's an important question that people who want to pre-order this want to know. Like, if I bust my ass leveling up these guns in multiplayer, are those guns available in Warzone, or is it a different instance of those guns? You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows that.
No idea.
This is just, and this is a Tombstone special. This is my opinion. This is probably the dumbest fucking thing I've seen in gaming in years. I get no idea why this is happening. I've tried to reason with it with all the guys. Mickey Dunn, who's talking in chat, we've had this discussion 100 times. I've talked about it in UV. I've talked about it with Team Series. I've talked about it on this podcast. You just, man, you finally got it right. Why are you changing it?
And
I get innovation. I do, but
this year, aren't they? The Pro League's coming back.
Yeah, the Pro League's going to come back, and COVID took.
It's really weird.
But just, man,
The Pro League was cool when you had like Call of Duty, the Halo tournaments, and they all were the same theme, different games, but arena multiplayer. Siege, the ESL, is probably the closest to what Pro League back in the day is. Competitive, arena, tactical based. I don't know. Warzone tournaments are cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking them, but they're different than Pro League. You know what I'm saying? They're all on risk and RNG and luck. I'm not saying it's all luck. It's definitely skill, but there's that sense of, oh, I didn't expect that guy to be over there. You know, that kind of stuff that makes it exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. There's still a sense of RNG to it. Like there is. You pick the wrong place to drop and you're behind the 8 ball because you're fighting the circles. It's not. I don't believe it's sustainable. I don't think Warzone's going to be popular in 3 years. I like Siege. Siege can do this. Siege can, and Counter-Strike, they're popular for a long time because they're consistent. But okay, let's say Siege, for instance. Siege says, we're finally at the height of Siege. We're going to release Siege 2. But none of our consoles can play on it.
Right.
That's what it feels like. It just feels like, and League of Legends, to their credit, they haven't done it. They've got millions and millions of followers and players. It'd be like releasing League 2. What's the point? You've already got it. You've already got the success. Make that success better. Make small, minute changes that your community wants to Warzone. Bring in zombies mode. Get all the rest of the guys who are outliers who don't want to play Warzone. And you're done. It seems like a no-brainer to me. I guess it's not. I mean, maybe technology is evolving that fast, but to me, it leaves me wondering, like, what are you doing, man?
I'm not a COD player, so that's why I said I know where you guys stand, where I stand with it. So I'm not a COD player. I'm a Battlefield main. But on top of that, BR is not my style.
I'm with you.
It's too much rinse and repeat. It's too much based on luck. It's too much play. There's too many aspects of it. RNG always pissed me off in BR. I'm more of a Siege player. That's why Brozine and I connect at the level. Everybody knows I'm more of a tactical shooter. I'm more on things that requires a little more sense of understanding, operator levels like Siege. Thinking? That's the reason why we host. That's why we host 5v5 Siege for tournaments. And that's the reason why Counter-Strike has been so successful. Very successful in that same spectrum, the same world, because I used to be a Counter-Strike player before esports was a thing, and Counter-Strike Global Offensive still puts it on the platform ESL level. Both of these games are ESL level. And then a lot of the things, I'm more of an RTS player. I love StarCraft. StarCraft 2 is my jam. Played it for years, but I've never gotten into BR, and I played all kinds of BR. If you look at my Steam list, you'll see all the BRs that I've tried. I just couldn't get into it. Yeah, Ring of Elysium was probably the best one before they killed that game, essentially. They murdered that game. But it was literally what PUBG should have been the whole time. But but I just never liked it. Like, it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna drop, go get gear. Oh, okay, we're gonna freaking run from the circle. Oh, wow, we finally made it. Or somebody was camping circle, somebody was riding circle, or people were fucking running hacks like every freaking BR since BR was announced. Every time I hear about Warzone, it was like, oh yeah, I went to a lobby full of hackers. I was like, see, that's the shit that was so discouraging to me. So that's why I enjoyed more Siege. I enjoy more Squad. I enjoy more Arma and things of that sort. Because to me, that kind of put me in a spectrum where I felt comfortable playing, and it felt like you actually had to work as a team to at a competitive level to surpass a lot of the things. That's why one of the first things me and you did when I met is like, you're a Siege player. You're like, you're a Siege player, and I was like, yeah, I do this and this and that and the other, because I was a season 1 Siege player. Everything's changed now. I went back to Siege, and I had to go refer back to my sons, because I'm like, what does this operator do? What does this operator? You know the whole thing, right? Because like you've been out of it for
maps
a while.
Have been reworked now. There's like different angles everywhere. Yeah,
and that's the thing. It's like it's more immersive in real world scenarios. Like if I were to punch a hole through here, this is my kill hole. You hit that corner, you're freaking dead. You know, you have to understand, not only map understanding is like 90% of Siege. The rest of it is split between attacking operators, defending operators, and you know, if you don't know the map, you hit a corner, boom, you're dead.
Right.
If you don't know the gadgets that can basically give the enemy intel, you're dead. And that to me had more of a not only an immersed feeling, but kept me at my toes, like looking for things like you would in real life.
Mhm.
And that's why I connected more with Siege and Squad and Arma and things of that sort.
So Legion White Wolf made a comment here, and I kind of want to hit on it. I feel like everyone tries too hard for the Battle Royale theme, and you're right. But can you really blame the developers for these things, man? Like, seeing the following that Warzone has, if you think you can recapture that lightning in a bottle, why not? Like, people were always like, oh, Fortnite's going to die. Fortnite still isn't dead. Like, I don't know if y'all watch Twitch. I don't know what you do in your free time, but if you watch Twitch,
still so
Fortnite
successful.
is still strong.
Super strong.
A lot of us have grown out of it, and we've said, okay, we're done with it. We want to move on to the next gen stuff. And me personally, I just like to try different games. You know, I like to try something here, try something there. I'm still playing They Are Billions, for God's sakes. Like, I'm still playing this game that has people look at me like, why are you still playing this? I don't know. It's fun. But, you know, why not try to catch the lightning in a bottle? Why not try to be the next one?
It's the nature of a competitive market. So you don't know which one is going to take off. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember, wasn't there like a food one or something?
Yeah.
Pots and pans and shit.
Cuisine Royale?
Yeah.
Cuisine Royale, making fun of the whole genre.
It was so funny.
Great.
So
it was
funny.
There are
Turned
things
into a
that,
chicken.
you know, it's either going to fall flat, or it could even be like Realm Royale, dude. Realm Royale blew up. Definitely paid for the freaking game, okay, with how popular it was. And I know this is just mainly a high-res thing, but like all games, they just abandon them after they make money. Okay, Tribes, Ascend, that kind of stuff. But that's, you know, these developers, it's just fishing, because if you strike gold,
It's worth it.
yeah, okay. And then you have like Warzone, or what was the one before that? Black Ops 4 had
Blackout.
Blackout.
Yeah. Blackout was a unique spin. I feel like they really learned a lot from Blackout.
I think that's the reason why they were able to push Warzone, because they
Yeah.
learned from Blackout, which to me was a disaster. I got on there, I was like, no, tick rate is so trash. Like, these hitboxes I can't play COD, bro, because I'm like ADS. Oh my god, y'all don't know ADS. Oh my
Blackout.
god, hitboxes.
For everything
Like, it
that
drives me
Warzone
nuts to play COD.
For everything that Warzone is, Blackout was equally bad. Like, I don't know how
think
many people played it. It was not good. Not a good game.
I think the three kings right now are, and this is my opinion from a non-Battle Royale player, Fortnite, Apex Legends with their frequent update. Respawn is a very good developer, one of my favorite developers personally. And then Warzone. I think Warzone is going to. It would be very risky. I'm going to get to Battlefield here. It would be very risky for EA to try and make another Firestorm, thinking it can ride the heels of something like Warzone. I really hope that, and I don't know, maybe you heard of this already, not so, but for everyone, that they announced Battlefield 6 in an earnings call earlier this week or last week. So it's coming, 2021 or something. I don't want to see any wasted time on a battle royale. Battlefield really needs to understand what makes it Battlefield and really dial in on its roots if it's going to live, because we might be in another era where y'all remember Medal of Honor? Ain't no more Medal of Honors. Medal of Honor was a
pour some for the homies.
was a great campaign, great multiplayer. That was one of the first games that you could actually cling to cover in first person. Okay, it was like a first person cover system that was excellent. Ghost Recon, another one. You know, these games, they try and push the level too hard, and then they don't make any money, and they die because they keep trying to strike gold in this whole fishing strategy. I'm afraid that Battlefield is in that same era where if they keep trying to go this route of being the new thing instead of reinforcing Frostbite and Rush and everything that makes Battlefield great, we're not going to see it in a few years, man. It's just going to be Call of Duty just taking over. Not to compare the two, but you know what I mean.
I don't even think it's going to be wasted time. Like you and I would sit here on a normal day, we'd probably say like, oh, they'll build Battlefield and then they'll build a BR. I don't think it's going to be that. I think they're going to build a BR of Battlefield, and then they're going to kind of work on Battlefield, you know, because
I hope they don't do it. I sincerely
I agree with you, because I have sat there with you playing Battlefield for dozens and dozens and dozens of hours. You and me and not so. I know we all ran together. I know my funniest stream I've ever had is when Felix was losing his shit over Battlefield. Okay. I mean, the dude lost his mind on Battlefield. He's as calm and collective, but he was raging. I thought he was going to break something seriously. But we love Battlefield. I love playing Battlefield. I think it's an amazing game. It's an amazing genre.
Some of my favorite gaming moments with you guys really are Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1. I mean, not Slim though. Hey Slim, if you're listening.
I was waiting for it.
But it was so fun to just be with your friends and come up with a tactical game plan. And you know, in Battlefield, like some of you, I'm not gonna say it's like military, but you guys bring that military knowledge and ideas sometimes. Maybe you don't inadvertently know that you're doing it, but it's kind of cool to get that perspective of we should flank like this, or we should flank doing this, or oh, they're doing this. And now, you know, you got me who just plays Battlefield like, all right, well, I've never been in a real military situation, so I'm just going to go with what he's saying. And hopefully,
Roger, got it.
Yeah, I'm just going to follow him up there and, like, hopefully I don't die.
One of my funniest moments ever in gaming was you yelling at me because it was my first day picking up Battlefield. I had bought it on EA Origins Game Pass, and I have no idea what the maps are. I don't even know what the arrows mean or anything, and I'm still trying to learn the game. It was like my second multiplayer game. And Brozine's like, come over here. And I'm like, where the fuck is over here? And he's just losing his mind on me, and I was lost. I was spinning in circles by the end of it because I was so lost.
Going back to Brozine's comment is me and a couple other people that played, you know, the same type of games, the military sims, especially Squad, and everybody always tells me that, like, Natso over here giving us commands to go. I'm like, go click northwest, you know, and then I start doing coordinates, and then I do exactly what we used to do in the army. I was like, oh, contact, small arms fire, northwest. And people do those memes where like the math equations, like when Natsu gives commands and the guy with the math going on, like people are like, we just look either left or right and just start shooting because we don't know what the hell you just said.
I would log off and I'd be like, man, I hope Natsu is gonna like send me a patch or something or a new upgrade. Maybe he's gonna promote me to recruit 3 or something. I don't know. Maybe I did good.
The phrase is contact, right? That's the one that we say in the military that most people don't use. Mm-hmm. I see this, I see that. That's what they'll say, and we'll respond with contact. And people are like, "What the hell did you just say?" Like, okay, it's back down. So no brevity here. No brevity terms,
dude. They would make me squad leader. I was like, I don't want to be squad leader because I already know what's gonna happen. So then I'm sitting here calling shit out, and everybody's like dead silence on Discord. And then come to find out later, it's like nobody knew what the fuck you were saying, dude. I was like contact 12 o'clock, small arms fire, north west or something like that.
Small
yeah. and then people were like, huh? It was like, what?
It's always a good time to be with the homies. I need a new Battlefield game. Seriously.
Dude, these conversations when they're happening in real time is why I get every Battlefield, because they're so fun in the moment. The memories of, like, I know I hate on Slim, but that is the greatest memory when Slim had to AFK in the middle of a firefight. So we like pushed his body into a tree in this trench, and we just used him as like a respawn beacon for like it was like 20 minutes. We used him as and I'm telling you, like, they didn't see him, so we were like spawning the flank over and over again behind these guys trying to push, and he never came back. I mean, he was just a spawn beacon. That was his role.
That was similar to Taz. Taz would just go out there and lay down prone, and she would kill fucking everybody.
And we kept using her as a beacon, and we won. That was hilarious.
She got like 31 kills, and then we were spawning on our body the whole time, and it was, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. Absolutely,
funny is that we won, dude. We took, like, you know how mid like Charlie, where Charlie's at in most of the maps, is the main center, dead center.
Yeah,
she laid down in an area with nothing but bodies around her. She looked dead the whole time. We just kept spawning on her, and we kept control of mid. We hold control, and then we had another squad rotate. It's like, okay, go back to alpha and pick it back around. And we kept doing that, and we eventually won, and we were just laughing our asses off. And I said, I will never talk shit about you and your stupid proning ever again.
Nope, never again. You win. These moments, this is why I'm a gamer. This is why I play games. This is why I don't sit down and watch TV mindlessly for hours and hours and hours at a time. It's probably why I really don't care about the NFL this year. It's why the NBA and all the stuff that's going on in the world and politics, like, just get me in front of a game, put these on, let the world disappear. These discussions with these gentlemen, the gentlemen that are not here with us, this is why I play games. And if you ever want to know why I play, this is why I play, because I can have these discussions, and these are memories. They're not fake memories because they happen online. They're memories. They're memories built with people that I care about and people that I can communicate with. And people always say, well, I've got IRL friends. These are my IRL friends. Like, these guys I can call on at any time, and it's probably more likely they'll show up than people that are close to me without the game sense. So this is why I play games. So I love these moments, and I'm super excited for the next Battlefield. I'm super excited for Destiny 2. I'm super excited for all these games. Whatever makes you happy to play, go play it. Go be happy. Or you can come play There Are Billions with me, and we can just spoil away in RTS games. I still don't know why I fucking play that game, dude. Like, whatever. Anyways, that's always a good time whenever you can have these kind of memories and have these kind of discussions. So, we're at about an hour and 25. You want to start wrapping us up?
Yeah, let's circle around. Let's get final thoughts and comments. We'll start off with Dave, where we can find you, what you're working on, things like that, and then we'll end at me, and then we'll get everybody a time back. Go ahead, David.
You can follow me on twitter.com/ViciousDave31K. And you can also find me at Twitch, ViciousDave31K, and also our Discord, which we can provide in our chat here in a few seconds.
You can find me on. It wasn't done. Shit, I ran over him.
No, you're good. I'm reinstalling Battlefield 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? Okay, I'm done.
done.
Wait, are you really reinstalling it? Because I may reinstall it if we're going to do some nostalgia night over here.
I'm down.
I'm thinking about reinstalling it too. Ever since we started talking.
Okay, you can find me on Twitter at Brozine TV, Twitch at Brozine, YouTube search Brozine. Shameless plug, I have a new series coming out, Brozine Fit. I've been working on that. The first episode released the other day. It's a personal series of mine. It's not really gaming related, although you will find some Beat Saber and Ring Fit in there, which is going to be hilarious. But just a journey I'm documenting as I attempt to lose 50 pounds indoors only, just playing video games and some minor weightlifting. So that's the next episode actually comes out tonight. So feel free to check it out on my YouTube.
Nice shout. I'm on Twitter as well, but I don't really use it. There's some funny pictures of me in a dress. That's going to be awesome. With that being said, I am over on twitch.tv/XX Tombstone XX. I stream Mondays, Fridays, one day of the weekend. You can always find me here on Sunday mornings. I say always. I have missed the last two. I had some personal stuff going on that I needed to handle. So I'll be back with the crew going forward. Once again, the mental health stream going on December 10th through the 13th. Huge participation from Team Sirius, United Vindication, Club Kiwi, and Rage Zone. If you want to participate, you've got 3 days to get signed up. If you're not signed up, I can't include you, and I hate to do that. My selfless plug for the week, Friday nights, I am doing beer tasting, beer reviews on stream. This last week was rough because I had I tasted 6 on stream. 3 of them were absolute hot garbage. So I'm gonna work with Natso to not pick the hot garbage ones anymore. So those three, I gave 3 reviews of less than a 1. So and I drink a lot of beer, so those were not good. Oh my god, that Voodoo Garbage Ranger, dude, my goodness. Also, another shameless plug: this Friday, on Friday the 13th, November 13th, I will be in a dress on stream. I have a young lady who donated 51 subs and asked me to do it. Couldn't really say no to that, so I'll be in a dress, full drag. Brozine, you should come join me for that. I know how much you like that. Also, welcome back to the world, Brozine. I'm glad to have you back because the world is just not as bright without you in it. Thanks for coming back and being a part of this. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what new creative shit you come up with, because if anybody's innovating for streaming, it's you. I know you come up with some of the most crazy, cool ideas. I've stolen so many of them. Like they're even my archives now because I've stolen so many. So, man, I appreciate you. Thanks for being around. I'm glad to see you back. I'm glad to see you healthy, mentally right, and ready to go. But hearing your parenting stories, man, it's gold. So, thanks for being back and being a part of this. Thanks.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for your time. As always, major fun being on this podcast and hanging out with you guys. I need to step back. I need to let y'all talk. I don't need to be on these. Keep getting dragged into. But I appreciate you, Brozine, being back. I'm grateful that you're here. You're always
being on the show, man.
I wish we had Felix, because when you and Felix start going, it's hilarious to me and Tomb.
Hopefully next weekend we can get him on here.
Yeah, he has some things to do. Life happens. I appreciate everybody's time. Everybody from here is from Team Serious. Everybody on this panel is a serious gentleman. With that being said, don't forget, I always plug in other people. Don't forget Savory Sundays at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Check out Sage Rage coming up here doing some of her best work. You can order everything she does on the streams on teamseriesdfw.com/Savory Sundays. Go check her out. Go support her. Also, one thing you didn't mention, Tom, you know, I ain't no hater. Y'all run a podcast. UV runs a podcast bi-weekly, I believe, on a Saturday at like 2 p.m.
Yep.
Am I right?
Bi-weekly. Yep.
Yeah.
So we did one yesterday. Not the 14th, but the 21st will be the next version. That's going to be Sage, Twisted, Corey, and Benjamin, my brother. Man, I forgot him like 3 times this week. Damn.
Yeah. What is that URL real quick?
It's just going to be at twitch.tv/United Vindication, all lowercase, no spaces.
There you go. Everything and anything said in the podcast you can find in the show notes and the description of the VOD. It will be on YouTube. Moving forward, I want and wish everybody a safe and wonderful rest of your Sunday, safe, wonderful rest of your work week. Listen to all those provisions. Wash your ass, wash your hands, wear a mask, social distance from everybody. You might even have to social distance from your spouse. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just letting you know. Okay. With that being said, remember, always stay serious. See you next time.
See you guys.
Hello, Serious Crew. This is Not So Busy, your podcast producer and Serious Gentleman podcaster. Team Serious would like to announce Serious Property Solutions, a proud sponsor of Team Serious. Serious Property Solutions, or SPS, will buy any house, any condition, any situation. So if you're looking into getting out of your mortgage or simply selling your house quick and you are near or around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, give them a call at area code 469-609-7368, or you can reach out to them via their Facebook page at facebook.com/Serious Property Solutions and send them a message via FB Messenger or email them at oscar@seriouspropertysolutions.com. We would like to thank SPS for their support and supporting this podcast. Thank you so much. Go check them out.
The closer you got to me, the faster